your stomach calling.
It's shouting!
Burrito! Burrito! Burrito!
Let's gather our ingredients and build this the Aussie way every day. Make it wild, make it savory, make it loud, just like Aussie would. No utensils needed, scarf it down and build another one. Have 900, just like Aussie. Aussie's October burrito.
Hear your stomach calling.
Aussie's October burrito.
Hear your stomach calling.
Just another Sunday here in the neighborhood. I'm relaxing with Poe and Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, just chilling and watching some harmless killing on the TV screen. Horror movies, delight and thrill. Sharing my popcorn with my crew of two. We jump and laugh, enjoying each jump scare as we take another bite. It's just another Sunday here in the neighborhood. Join us tonight.
Hey, gang, and welcome to just some random stream that I decided to do on a Sunday. This is called A Sunday in September, and I may have these some more, but I just decided to get on here and talk a little bit about some movies, horror movies, that I like to watch on a lazy Sunday afternoon and evening on into the nighttime hours. And as I've talked before, a lot of things that I like to watch on the weekends don't take much brain power. Also, we want to get relaxed. We want to enjoy ourselves before we have to go back to the grind of work and all of that. So, these movies are not going to utilize much brain power. They're kind of going to just be pure fluff, pure fun. Okay? No complicated plots here. So, just warning you ahead of time. I want to get some housekeeping stuff out of the way before I get started with these films. I think I've got about 12 films here. I'm not going to go real in depth. We're going to go through them briefly, and then I'm probably going to call it a night. But I did want to do this fun little stream. But to get the housekeeping stuff out of the way, I do have a contest up for some Halloween gift packs of movies that I'm going to be giving away on the channel. And this is for new subscribers only. I kind of explained that in the video. Hopefully I can offer some giveaways a little bit later for just anybody. But right now, this particular giveaway is for new subscribers. And that means you have to comment on the video that I put up about the Halloween gift packs. They're going to be, like I said, 3 different gift packs with 5 different movies in them. And it's going to be like grab bags, folks. It's going to be like those grab bags you used to get where you didn't really know what you were getting. But it's free, folks. The only prerequisite is if you have not subscribed to my channel, you need to subscribe. And I'm not sure why I've got that little signal thing, but it went away. So that's good. So if you have not subscribed and you've kind of been thinking about subscribing to my channel and you want to enter this contest, all you got to do is comment on the video that I put up about the giveaway. And make sure you give your screen name or your channel handle. And that has to be the same one that you subscribed under. And you got to make sure that I can see that you have subscribed. Okay. And then this is going to go on from now until October 31st at 11:59 p.m. And then on November 1st, I'm going to do a video. I decided to do a video so you could see that I'm doing this the fair way. I'm going to put all the names of the people that subscribed during that time period into a big hat or a Halloween, I thought about doing it in a Halloween pumpkin. The little kids get their candy in on Halloween. And if I can get my hands on one. And I will draw 3 names out of those. And each of those 3 people will get one of those Halloween gift packs. Okay. So just wanted to talk about that. For those of you that were here early enough or have seen the promo on my channel, Ozzy's October Burrito will be a special Halloween and Ozzy tribute movie munchies, where I'm going to be attempting to make Ozzy's favorite type of burrito that he would be ordering from Chipotle. Apparently, he loved burritos and he loved burritos from Chipotle. So be sure to tune in for that. That will drop at some point on Sunday, October 26th. All the movie munchies are pre-recorded now. So just wanted to let you guys and gals know about that. I've got lots of cool programming coming up on Deadites on Deck. For those of you that got a sharp eye, you will see that I have a new logo. It's Evil Dead Chick and Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel, because Ozzy the Wonder Squirrel is the official mascot of the Deadites on Deck channel on YouTube. I have also changed the handle to @Deadites on Deck to more align with the name of the channel, and so people wouldn't be confused. But we got some really cool programming coming up for the coming week. Monday will be another celluloid trash. I'll be talking about The Last Shark and The Last Slumber Party. Tuesday will be a VHS overload, talking about fave horror VHS covers from 1986. Wednesday will be horror movie rewind, talking about the original Halloween 2. Thursday will be They're All Messed Up. I'll be talking about Horror High and Massage Parlor Murders. And we've got we have a watch along coming up on Saturday, September 20th. I don't have that up just yet, but the winner in the poll was for Cujo. So that is what we will be doing then. Got an Evil Dead Chick's Hideous Halloween Slumber Party coming up October 10th. And I will be watching Halloween 1978, Halloween 2, and yeah, you guessed it, Halloween 3. That will be starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time, because we're going to be watching 3 movies together, folks. Hey, Phil. So I also want to remind you guys and gals, even if you can't participate because you're not a new subscriber in the Halloween pack giveaway, there are still a lot of different ways that you can support me and the channel. Even if you don't want to, subscribe and participate in that, you can just subscribe, and you can remain anonymous if you just want to subscribe and you don't want to enter the giveaway. Okay. And I promise I'm not going to try to come minister to you at your house or sell you candy bars and cookies. I wouldn't otherwise, anyway. But you can also hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the new content I've got coming out. And you can like every daggone video or stream that you enjoy. And if you like them all, heck, hit the like on them all. And you can also Share with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content that I'm putting out. And this may cost you money if you um, want to purchase something, but I will appreciate it as I do super chats and super stickers and people that give $5 or more super chats for the movie roulette, which you can do that tonight as well. But also be sure to head over to deaditesondeck.com, my horror shop. Tell them Post sent you. We got a lot of new graphics on the shop site. And remember, if you're not a t-shirt type of person, a lot of these designs can be transferred to tote bags. They can be transferred to hats and mouse pads. There are blended teas on the site and scented candles and booga booga bears and pyro plushies. And also, if you're not a horror fan, or even if you are a horror fan and you don't see the exact design that you like, I do custom work, folks. I can do custom work for your side business or your new business that you're starting, or if you've got a friend or family member that's just started a business and needs some t-shirts and hats with a certain logo on it. Hey, hit me up. I've got a handy dandy form on the homepage of the site that you can fill out and let me know what it is you so desire. I've got a $6 flat rate of shipping. It doesn't matter if you buy 1 item, 5 items, 10 items, 15 items, whatever. And if you're getting these logos on t-shirts or hats for a business, I will give you a discount if you want it on multiple items, folks. I'm willing to work with you. Just fill out the form on the site at deaditesondeck.com. All right. So now that I've got all that out of the way, let's get into these movies. And these are not movies necessarily that I watch on every Sunday. You know, it's a random thing. You know, I just pick movies that I think that I'm going to enjoy for that day. But these are an example of movies that I would watch on a lazy Sunday afternoon into the evening and night. Okay. So, one of the things I like to do on a lazy Sunday is watch stuff that I think of as creature features, right? And creature features have creatures in them. Okay. So, one of my favorites is Alligator. I have always loved the movie Alligator, which tells the tale, you know, it's an expansion of that old urban legend about the kids that got these baby alligators. And when the baby alligators started growing a little bigger, the parents got antsy and flushed them down the toilet. Well, they ended up down in the sewers and they mutated and they grew gigantic and they came out and attacked people. Now, we all know that that story is not true, right? But the thing about the movie Alligator is that it expanded and made it real for the 90 or so minutes that you were watching this film. And it's fun. It has Robert Forster in it. Man, Robert Forster in his younger days was a badass, folks. I love Robert Forster, and I thought he was sexy back then. I don't care if his hair was getting a little thin. He was hot in this movie. And there may be some people that say, oh, I don't care nothing about how Dana feels about Robert Forster. But I loved him in this film. He was playing a cop. He was a cop that loved dogs. You know, how could you possibly go wrong? So, how did these alligators, you may wonder, come to become mutated down in the sewers? Well, there was a nefarious scientific institute that was testing dogs and cats and other pets that they sent a guy out to kidnap or dog nap or cat nap or whatever. And they gave them these drugs. And when the poor old doggies and kitties and stuff like that, primarily dogs, would die, they would have this same guy take them down in the sewers. Well, yeah, the alligator that was unfortunately down there, he had to have something to eat, right? So he started eating these scientifically enhanced dogs. And he grew and he grew and he grew until he got gigantic. And then he decided, heck, I don't want to stay in the sewers no more. I'm going to come out and start chomping on people. So he's messing up birthday parties and all kinds of things. And yeah, it's a fun, rubber suit monster bonanza. And from the first time I saw Alligator, I have enjoyed it to the utmost that it has to offer. And yeah, you can tell it's fake sometimes, and I don't have to have it looking super realistic. And to me, it's better than like the CG stuff that we had really early on. I would much rather watch this than some of that early CG stuff. And the alligator has a name too, Ramon. The little girl that gets him at the beginning of the film names him Ramon. And Daddy gets tired of him chewing on shoes and stuff like that and flushes him down the toilet. All right. So this is Alligator from 1980. Fun little, creature feature monster movie, right? All right. The next one I consider a creature feature as well, and that is Basket Case. And who do I consider the creature in here? Well, Dwayne's brother, his deformed brother, Bilal. He's the creature in Basket Case. And Bilal's none too happy to be separated from his brother, Dwayne, when they were kids. And so Dwayne and Bilal literally in a basket, traveled to New York to do in the doctors that separated them when they were young. And all their adventures along the way, including one of the worst wigs in the history of wigs on the woman that Dwayne becomes infatuated with. And the reason why she has this bad wig, and I did not know this for years, is because she was a member of a punk rock band and she had shaved her head. This also has some of the worst acting, not from Kevin Van Hentrick, who plays Dwayne, but some of the other people in it. Yeah, the acting is really, really bad, but it adds to the fun of the movie. And I met Frank Henenlotter many moons ago, and many moons after this movie had been made. And Frank Henenlotter, I always expected him to be a little rough to talk to because he's your typical New Yorker. But he was very nice and kind whenever I met him at Cinema Wasteland many moons ago. And I actually have not this copy, but I have another copy of Basket Case that's signed by Frank Henenlotter. And I can show y'all that too. Here it is. This is the Something Weird Blu-ray. And I bought this off of his table. Hey, Gory Tiger. I bought this off of his table at Cinema Wasteland, and he signed it to Dana from your friends at the Hotel Broslin, Frank Henenlotter. So that's something that I treasure. I won't get rid of that Blu-ray, even though I have a all new enhanced version from Arrow Video of Basket Case. Okay, so not only do I like to watch creature features, folks, but I like to watch really bad movies. Okay, they're bad, but they're still watchable and they're still fun. There's two types of bad movies. There's bad movies that just you cannot tolerate. And then there's bad movies that are they're bad, but they're just so much fun and they're so crazy that you can get behind them. I'm going to talk about a few of those from my movie shelves. One of these is Blood Cult, one that I got in kind of recently. You can see This is the original, like this is the VHS cover that I remember when I was a kid. And when you see something like this, when you're a horror fan, man, you've got to rent it. Okay. So this tells the story of literally a blood cult who is attacking co-eds on a college campus and taking some of their body parts and leaving behind these little gold or whatever medallions with the dog's head on them. And this was touted as the first movie made for the home video market that might just scare you to death. That, along with the original cover, made it a shoe-in that I was going to rent it and take it home and watch it. And I've been a fan of Blood Cult ever since. Now, Blood Cult 2, Revenge, I'm not such a big fan of that one, but the original Blood Cult, I really do enjoy it. I always have fun with it. It's, if I have had a bad day and I put something like Blood Cult in, it just makes that bad day dissolve for me. So another one that, fits that so bad it's good category. And I've got a couple more after this one. Is Blood Diner. Okay, now I'm going to tell my story about Blood Diner. Blood Diner was a film that I remembered seeing in the rental stores, but back in the day. But for whatever reason, I never rented it. And then I heard, Uncle Bill from Dead Pit Radio talking about it. And, the Creepy Kentuckian, CK, he was talking about it too, but mostly Uncle Bill was talking about it. And I was like, holy cow, I got to watch this movie. And so I finally did. And I had a ball with this film. It is just so crazy and so out there. It tells the tale of two brothers, the Namtup brothers, who run a really popular restaurant and or diner in town. It's kind of like a 1950s style diner. But what they're doing is they're serving up, human remains to people, and they, unbeknownst in this town, they love the food. You've got these two bimbos that are deep fried by the Namtup brothers, and the Namtup brothers are told what to do by their uncle, who literally was shot and killed. The brothers rescued him from the local cemetery, and he is literally just a brain and eyeballs in a jar, and telling the brothers what to do and calling them idiots and morons and stuff like that. But it's all a loving family, right? And so I just have so much fun every time I watch Blood Diner. You have one scene where literally a guy is run over, I don't know how many times, by one of the Namtup brothers, just repeatedly, while the brother is just ha ha ha, just laughing and just keeps running over this guy and then backing over him and running over him forwards. And if you don't believe me about Blood Diner, I urge you to find a for free version of this and watch it, because it is just crazy good fun. All right, so that's Blood Diner. Another one I always like to watch because it's just so crazy and so out there is Blood Hook. You can't worm your way out. So people in Blood Hook are literally hooked and pulled into the water and end up on a fish stringer. If you don't know what a fish stringer is, please look that up. It's basically where when you're going fishing and you've got these fish, you put this stringer through the fish mouths, and when somebody comes home from fishing, they'll have a whole stringer full of fish. My dad, I'd seen him do that many times before he started, cutting the fish up and making fish fillets so mom could fry this fish up. Yeah, it's obviously fake and all that stuff, but this movie is just so much fun. Um, Watching people be pulled off the dock by this giant hook, and later on they show up as zombie looking sunken eyed people on this fish stringer. I just love it. And the reason why somebody is doing this killing is even more outrageous. I don't want to give that away, because I think it would ruin it for you if you haven't seen Blood Hook. So Blood Hook's another one. It was the feature film debut from director Jim Mallon, who is responsible for Mystery Science Theater 3000, the movie. It's a comedic slasher, and it's just fun, folks. It's just fun. And the last one for these so bad they're good films is Boarding House. This was put out by the AGFA, where the rent won't kill you, but something else will. So there's some weird things going on in this boarding house. And John Wintergate directed and stars in this little gem, as well as his wife, Clasu, I think her name is. She had a musical career. Apparently, John Wintergate's character is a psychic gigolo. Yeah, you heard it, psychic gigolo, who wears a leopard print thong, and he does, and sits cross-legged on his desk. But he rents a haunted house to beautiful women. From there, this slasher film transformed into a sleazy, hallucinogenic maelstrom of gore, sex, chainsaws, pie fights, killer refrigerators, jacuzzis, beds that eat people, and a new wave band called 33 and a Third, and a leading lady known only as Colossu. That is John Wintergate's wife, by the way. It was the first shot on video horror film to be blown up to 35 millimeter, too. Is it a good movie? No, it's not a good movie. But I find it fun in the original format that it's in. There is like a 2.5 hour cut available of this. That I wouldn't recommend, but the shorter version of Boarding House, yeah, I'd recommend it for a lazy Sunday afternoon. All right. So now we're getting into some of the slashers. Slashers don't take too much brain power to watch. But anyways, I'm going to get to these slasher films real quick. The first one is Bloody Moon. And this is my favorite Jess Franco movie of all time. It's the most confident, in my opinion, Jess Franco movie there is. And it's bloody and gory and probably doesn't make a lot of sense at some points and times. But it's still fun, folks. So it's part of that body count genre of slasher films. And that took place in the early 80s, folks. That was when this kind of stuff really exploded, right? So Jess Franco decided he was going to create his own brand of slasher film, complete with gratuitous nudity, graphic violence, and gory set pieces. And this has that all over it. And I think if Jess Franco had kept making movies like this, then his career probably would have been a lot better. As you actually, my favorite scene in the whole movie is when this chick gets her head cut off by this giant saw here, folks. I thought it was a sawmill, but I don't think it's actually a sawmill per se. I think it's a stone cutting machine of some sort. Uh, so if you've never seen a Jess Franco movie and you've never seen Bloody Moon, definitely pick this for your Jess Franco movie. And it's a decent slasher. It's a fun slasher. Not really a grade movie, but still a really good slasher movie that is fun for the whole family, folks. In my opinion, if you got a family of people that likes slasher films, that is. All right. So The Burning. This is an American slasher that I love, but I'll tell this little story real quick about The Burning. I think I've told this before. Is that the cover for on the VHS for The Burning was not really something that would catch your eye. And it was something that I missed several times when I went into the video rental store. But upon closer inspection of looking at this, which on first glance just looks like a couple making out in the lake, you would see this shadow of the character Cropsey with these garden shears raised. And it's basically a revenge type of thing, sort of like Friday the 13th and stuff, because there was a caretaker named Cropsey who years ago, some of the campers didn't like Cropsey, and so they decided to scare him a little bit. Well, the prank goes wrong, and Cropsey is horribly burned. So he ends up coming back to a camp and starts killing off campers left and right, and camp counselors and all that. So mainly the camp counselors, but fun little, slasher film. It's gory in all the right places, and I really, really enjoy it at any time. But especially, you can use this for a lazy Sunday afternoon or evening or night, and you will not go wrong with The Burning. The next one, it's kind of like a zombie gore slasher film, and that's The Gates of Hell, aka City of the Living Dead. Has Christopher George in it, has Catriona MacColl, has this creepy ass priest hanging himself at the beginning of the film, and when he does, the dead come back and they start making more zombies that like to pull the brains out of the back of people's heads. And to top it all off, we have a girl who literally pukes up her entire intestinal tract in this film. If you don't believe me, look this film up, folks. Just a fun, gory little film by none other than Lucio Fulci, who was the Italian director for this film. This is a film, I know I've told this story before, but there may be still some of you that have not heard the story behind The Gates of Hell for me. My parents actually saw it at a drive-in many moons ago when I was young. And I grew up hearing about this film called The Gates of Hell, where my dad said, yeah, there were maggots flying in the window. This guy gets his head drilled. The guy getting his head drilled turned out to be Giovanni Lombardo Radice, who plays Bob in the film. He also went under the semi-American name of John Morgan. And that's what I thought his name was for years before I found out his Italian name. I actually interviewed him back in the day whenever I did my Blood Type magazine. For those of you that remember that interview I did with Giovanni Lombardo Radice. He was a very kind man, and he has since passed away, and he is somebody that I truly miss in these Italian horror films. All right, so that's The Gates of Hell, aka City of the Living Dead. Another one that, I've heard a lot of people say that it's not a really good film at all. But I think it's a fun little slasher, and that's Death Screams, aka House of Death. It's got a lot of gory killings in it, and sometimes isn't that just what we want to watch when we're watching one of these slasher or horror films? We just sometimes we want to just see a lot of what Joe Bob would call slime glopola going on the screen, you know. And Death Scream certainly fits the bill with that. We have a group of young people who decide to go to a carnival, and then that night they want to hang out in the cemetery and tell ghost stories, and they have a party by a bonfire and all that. All that culminates in them ending up in the aforementioned House of Death, where somebody is not too happy with them and starts cutting them up. Okay. So, typical slasher movie with a lot of good gore and all that stuff. And that's Death Screams, aka House of Death. Okay, so the last two films I'm going to talk about tonight are a couple of anthology films, because anthology films are great too for lazy Sunday afternoons and evenings and nights, because you don't just have to sit there and just watch one story for 90 minutes or whatever. You get a collection of stories with an anthology. So they're always good for weekend watching. And one of these is After Midnight. This is a movie that I ran across quite by accident on my days watching, flipping through channels on the satellite. Everybody remembers those satellite dishes and cable and all that. So I ran across After Midnight that way. And this is a very good collection of stories, in my opinion, and has one of the more frightening stories I have watched, that has Marge Helgenberger in it, and I think her husband at the time was the actual killer in the movie, and he was creepy. So this is not only fun, but it's creepy too. And that last story is really, really creepy because Mark Helgenberger is at this all night. She works at this all night messaging service, where back in the day, famous people would use a messaging service to get all their messages. Well, this guy has, become obsessed with this soap opera actress. And so he's calling this place called All Night, where Marge Helgenberger works. And he wants to give this woman messages. Well, then he becomes fixated on Marge Helgenberger and decides to start stalking her, and shows up at All Night, and craziness and scariness ensues. And this was a story that gave me cold chills, because any of that stuff about people getting phone calls and then someone showing up where they're working or where they live, or the babysitter in the caller upstairs, like When a Stranger Calls and stuff like that. I always found that stuff to be really, really frightening. So this is a tight little anthology movie, and it has a great wraparound story, a kind of creepy wraparound story to it as well. And so I'd highly recommend After Midnight. And the last one I wanted to talk about tonight, and then I'm probably going to call it a night, because like I say, whenever I go over these movie collections and stuff like that, I don't ever like to be on here that long and take up too much of people's time. So on a Sunday. But this is, of course, Creepshow. This is the last one I wanted to talk about tonight. So Creepshow is a very, very good anthology film created with stories by Stephen King, directed by George Romero. This is George Romero, Stephen King collaboration, and it's fantastic. I always am in the mood for Creepshow. There's never a time when I wouldn't be in the mood for Creepshow, and I think a lot of people uh, feel that same way. It has the great EC Comics feel to it, and if you're not familiar with EC Comics, I urge you to look that up. Look up the history of EC Comics. EC Comics had a revival when I was young, and I would eat those things up. I would go to the store and I would purchase them or get somebody else to purchase them for me before I had a job and made my own money, or if I wasn't working in tobacco for my papa and getting some money, then, mom or dad or aunt or uncle or somebody would buy me some of these, the revival of EC Comics. And I went to visit my parents not very long ago. My mom said she found a bunch of stuff that I'd had, old horror magazines and stuff. And lo and behold, there was one of these EC Comics, the revival of the EC Comics. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm taking that home with me. So it was just kind of a blast from the past for me to be able to go and look at that EC Comics. So, Creepshow has 5 different stories in it. Some people may think it's a little long, but hey, folks, the stories are so great in this via Stephen King that it's just fantastic. It doesn't even seem like it's about a 2-hour long movie, because each and every story has its own little bit of gruesome charm to it. So, anyway, that is Creepshow. And all of these would get 5 deadites out of 5 if I was to, give them a rating. I kind of tried to not do that with all of them because I don't have to give the rating on all these. I mean, this was basically me talking about movies that I enjoy. So, I'm going to give them a high rating if I had given them a rating. So, I saw Phil and I saw Gory Tiger basically saying hey in here, and I appreciate you guys coming in and keeping me company in the chat. For those of you that I saw popping in here and watching, I appreciate you guys and gals as well. And for people that maybe didn't have the time to stay in here for the duration or didn't get a chance to watch it at all, I want to thank those of you that will watch it on the replay, because you guys and gals are also very important and very instrumental in supporting me in the channel. And I appreciate each and every one of you out there that takes time out of your day or night to watch my streams when they're live, or to watch them on the replay, or to watch the videos that I put out. So I guess I'm going to call it a night for tonight and try to get some rest before work tomorrow. But as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. And get out there and blast some Aussie and try your best to live the Aussie way. And by that, I mean, don't stay stuck in the past, folks. That's not helpful to us at all, right? Don't hold on to any old hurt or anything like that. Move forward in the present, into the future, and never, ever give up on your dreams. I love each and every one of you out there, and I'll see everybody next time.